If you're one of the millions of Americans who have no choice but to wear glasses or contact lenses in order to see, there's an option to restoring your vision called Epi-LASIK surgery. But how do you know if it's the right decision for you? Dr. Jeffrey Gold is a board-certified and award-winning ophthalmologist, and he's joined by registered nurse Susan Duclos, who is one of his patients. Welcome back, doctor. Susan, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with your story, Susan. How long ago did you have Epi-LASIK?
Well, I had Epi-LASIK June 6th of last year, and it was the best decision I ever made. Initially, I had the regular LASIK done when I was 40, and back then I had 2200 vision. And I went from not being able to see the chart to seeing 20/20. It was amazing.
Now, did your vision affect your daily life? No.
Oh, it did. It really did. As you get older, and I am older, I found that I needed to wear reading glasses, and I would go about as a nurse wearing them around my neck. So I didn't want to do that anymore. I found out I was going to become a grandmother, which was so exciting. So I said, you know, it's time now to get the Epi-LASIK, and I'm so glad I did.
All right, and now what made you find Dr. Gold? How did you choose him?
Well, originally I found him by calling my insurance company. And I went on his website, and there were so many great reviews about you, Dr. Gold. So I decided to go with him. And from the instant that I met him, I knew I had made the right choice. He put me at ease right away. He was wonderful, and he had a lot of success. So as a nurse, you really want to do your research and find someone who's great, and he is. And he was so great, I went back again.
What was the second time you went back for?
For the reading glasses. The first time, I had been 4 years old until I was 40. I wore regular glasses. And it was a little scary thinking about getting that done, but it came out fantastic.
Life-changing, right?
Absolutely life-changing. When I woke up from the surgery, it was amazing. I was feeling around for my glasses, and I looked at the clock, and I can actually read it, and I said, oh my God, I could see. So
that's great.
It was wonderful.
Now, doctor, you've done thousands of these.
Right.
About how many would you say?
About 11,000.
Wow. All right. So if you will, explain to us the difference between the old way LASIK and Epi-LASIK.
Okay. I'll use this model to explain. In LASIK, we cut the cornea open and fold back a flap. The laser correction is then done here, and the flap goes back down. The edge seals overnight, but we learned for sure in 2011 that from here to here, never fully heals. So the patients who have had LASIK are vulnerable for the rest of their lives. If they get hit in the eye just the wrong way and that flap comes loose, they've got an hour to find me to get it fixed, or they're going to need a corneal transplant.
Now, who would you say is a good candidate for Epi-LASIK?
Just about anybody who is old enough to where their vision has stabilized, and typically that's around the very late teens or the early 20s, and who does not have one of a couple of corneal degenerations. And I determine that when people come in for a free screening exam to evaluate whether they're a good candidate, and the majority of people are.
Okay, well, let's put our graphic up on the screen, and you could explain a little bit further the difference between the two procedures.
On the left, you see Epi-LASIK, which involves no cutting, but on the right, you can see LASIK with the flap cut open and folded back. In both cases, the laser is used once we see this particular situation, and the flap on the right, the flap gets put back down but never heals. On the left, the surface cells, and I think our next graphic shows how I take the surface cells off. Right. That blunt tip separating device that you see pushes off the epithelial cells just like a snowplow pushes snow off your driveway without digging up the driveway.
Sure. And
those cells then grow back over the next 3 days. And during those 3 days, the only restrictions that the patient has is no hard rubbing of the eye, no water in the eye, and no exposure to tobacco smoke. Otherwise, they read, watch TV, use the computer, drive, go to work, whatever they normally do.
Sure. Susan, let me ask you, I know you mentioned how great it was to be able to see the clock for the first time. What other things have changed?
Well, since I had this procedure, it's wonderful not to have glasses. I think anybody that's my age knows that you have glasses in every room of your house, and you get tired of trying to find them. So it's amazing that you could just see everything so clearly. And as a nurse, it's wonderful because, you know, you're constantly putting your glasses on and off when you're looking to get some medication in a syringe, for instance. Now, I don't need to do it at all. It's wonderful.
Great. And doctor, let's talk about safety here, the difference between Epi-LASIK and LASIK.
Well, Epi-LASIK involves no cutting, so it's inherently safer during the procedure itself. And then for the rest of that person's life, there is not a flap that can come loose. And so it's safer forever. The procedure Susan was talking about to get rid of the reading glasses we call Monovision, because it corrects the dominant eye for distance, the non-dominant eye for close, and the brain makes the adjustment. The people who come to see me who are already in bifocals or reading glasses, we can correct the dominant eye fully and the non-dominant eye about 80%. People who either never needed glasses or, like Susan, had previous LASIK to correct the distance vision can get one eye done just to create a little bit of nearsightedness in the one eye so they don't need the reading glasses. It's wonderful.
Wow, that's great. All right. Doctor, we have just a couple minutes left. We know that you're the only ophthalmologist to represent the Better Vision Network. Tell us, what's that? Well,
that was a great honor to be selected by a national group of ophthalmologists to represent Connecticut. And the Better Vision Network is an organization that promotes safe laser vision correction. Lindsey Vaughn is our national spokesperson, and my understanding is that she's going to be back in time for the next Olympics.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, doctor, and as you usually do, you have a special offer for Connecticut-style viewers and first responders.
Right. Anybody who mentions this program when they call in receives a $200 per eye discount, and this offer also extends to first responders, active duty, and retired military.
So great of you. All right.
That's great.
Isn't that? So put the information up on the screen. If you want more information on Epi-LASIK, you can contact Dr. Gold at Liberty Vision in Hampton or visit libertyvision.net. You could also find Liberty Vision on Facebook. Susan, thanks so much for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And doctor, always nice to see you.
Thanks for having us back.
All right, coming up next, Chef Corinne Trang shows us how to engage the senses and understand the connection between body, mind, and food when Style returns.